So you want to upgrade Saheeli Radiant Creator? Well, we got you covered. Saheeli Radiant Creator is one green, blue, and a red legendary creature, human artificer. Whenever you cast an artificer or artifact spell, you get 1 energy. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 energy. When you do, create a token that's a copy of target permanent you control, except it's a 5/5 artifact creature in addition to its other types and has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. I am Levi.
I'm Howie.
This is Northwest Magic.
And today we're going to walk you through our really quick 10 adds and cuts for the Living Energy Precon.
To make this deck hang.
I didn't tell you this, but it was accidentally budget. The entire upgrade is like $15.
Well, there you have it, folks. To make this deck at least 10% better, only costs $15.
Yeah. A lot of the energy cards are pretty cheap in general. Not that we didn't add too many energy cards. Anyway, number 1. I love this card. This is what made me really want to build this deck. I'm going to build the deck. Threefold Thunderhulk. This is going to be a good finisher in the deck. It's 7 mana for an artifact creature gnome. He's a 0/0, but he enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. When Threefold Thunderhulk enters the battlefield or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens equal to its power. And then it has 2, sacrifice another artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Threefold Gearhulk. So, what you want the play to be with this, I gotta walk you through this, guys. This is so sick. You play this, you already have Saheeli out, you already have 3 energy from whatever. You get an energy from casting this, and then you get 3 1/1 gnomes when it enters. Move to combat, make a copy. It enters as a 5/5 with 3 +1/+1 counters on it, so you get 8 more, and then you immediately attack with it and get 8 more. That's 19 gnomes for 7 mana and 3 energy. That's pretty good.
I'd pay 7 mana and 3 energy for 19 gnomes, Mr. Howie.
Yeah. I don't remember what the card's called in the deck. It's like Decorum Generator or something. Gives you an energy whenever a creature enters too. So there's like cool synergies just by having all those things enter. You could just get 19 energy back sometimes. Pretty sick.
Lots of power on the board and really wide. It'll help with, affinities for artifacts if you care about that too. It helps with a lot of things.
Instant board state.
Just having like a lot of stuff is just so worth it, and Threefold Thunderhulk just gets you there. Another one that I think people, I don't know, maybe people might think this is weird or interesting, but Esika's Chariot, 3 and a green, legendary artifact vehicle. When Esika's Chariot enters the battlefield, create 2/2 green cat creature tokens. When the Chariot attacks, you create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Pretty freaking cool. You get some cats
and it has crew 4.
Huh?
It has crew 4. It's a vehicle.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention that it has crew 4.
Yeah.
But when it attacks, it can make a token of something that you already have a token of, which I think is really awesome. Guess what Saheeli does? She makes a token of something. So imagine you have a threefold Thunderhulk, and then you make another one. That's even more gnomes.
And you get to keep the one that you make from Esika's Chariot.
Yeah.
Instead of sacrificing it.
I think because it's an artifact and it synergizes with the tokens creation, it's worth a slot in here for sure.
Yeah. And it also helps you with like a little bit of a board state. It helps you with blockers because you end up with usually at least 4 2/2 cats, and that's nothing to scoff at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and nothing wrong with having a couple just, chump blockers. Sorry, kitties.
All right, so every card that we're adding is $1.50 or less, except for this one is $8. It's called World Walker Helm. It's from Big Score. 2 and a blue for an artifact. If you would create 1 or more artifact tokens, instead create those tokens plus a map token. And then it has 1 and blue and tap to create a token that's a copy of target artifact token you control. So it does the same thing as Esika's Chariot, but for a cheaper amount, and you can You know, you can make another token copy of whatever you're doing. Does the
Yeah.
same thing.
Same thing, artifact. Just making another token. Doubling down on what Saheeli already does.
Yeah.
Another,
Before we move on to the next category, I just wanted to mention as 2 honorable mentions that for the same sort of deal, you can add Brutaclad. He'll help you kind of keep your tokens. And I lost my train of thought, so I don't remember what the other one I was going to say was. But Brutaclad's pretty cool too.
yeah, we don't have Brutaclad as the actual top 10 ads, but I think he's
like 11 or 12.
He's
pretty good, especially if you want more of that sort of effect from Esca's Chariot and World Walker Helm.
Aether Refinery, 4 red, also an artifact. If you would get 1 or more energy, you get twice that energy instead. You can tap it to get an energy, and then you may pay 1 or more energy. If you do, create an XX black Aetherborn creature token, where X is the amount of energy paid this way. I think just that energy creation alone, that double amount, is really imperative to this, because you're going to be wanting to spend some energy, you know? It's not just Saheeli you're going to be spending energy with, it's going to be a bunch of other stuff. And if the refinery does that. And, you know, it does help in a pinch, for sure. And it doesn't say, does it say sorcery speed if you do create it? It doesn't.
No,
you can do that. You can do that tap at sorcery or at instant speed. So you can even catch somebody off guard if you got some. If they're swinging out with something big, they don't think they're afraid to lose. Haha, Aetherborn. You didn't expect that.
Something I wanted to point out too is that this doesn't just tap for 1 energy. It reads that way, but it taps for 2.
Because it gives you an extra energy or a double energy every time.
Yeah, and so when you make a copy of it with Saheeli, you spend 3 to make a copy. And now when you tap one of them, you get 4. Because it's double. Tap the second one, you get 8. That's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, that's so much energy. My head.
You just glitched so hard. You lagged like crazy, dude. I just watched your face melt. Yeah, pretty cool card, and we want a lot of energy. It's my turn to pick, huh?
Yep.
The other one I was really excited for was Cultivator of Blades for this neat interaction. It's not the only card that does this kind of interaction, but
you might need a whiteboard for this.
Yeah, I already did the math, so listen up. Take you to my math class lesson. Cultivator of Blades, 3 green for an elf artificer, so you get that energy when you cast it. It's a 1/1 with Fabricate 2. Whenever Cultivator of Blades attacks, you may have other attacking creatures get +X until end of turn, where X is Cultivator of Blades power. So Fabricate 2 also means that when it enters, you can put 2 +1/+ encounters on it, or create 2 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens. So what you want to do is have the original one enter. With the Fabricate 2, you make 2 1/1 servo artifact creature tokens, and then when you spend 3 energy to make the copy, sorry, I got to get through this quick, it's a lot of math. Make the copy, it's a 5/5, but it's actually a 7/7 because you're going to add the 2 +1/+ counters on it. You're going to attack with both, you're going to stack the triggers. I feel like I know what I'm talking about. Stack the triggers so the copy resolves first, giving all of your creatures +7/+7, and then the original Cultivator of Blades is now an 8/8, and it will resolve, giving everything +8/+8. So besides your Cultivator of Blades, everything else will be getting +15/+15. That's a lot of power on the board, especially if you have any board state at all. If you have Threefold Thunderhulk, it's enough. It's enough.
That kind of power all wrapped into 5 mana interacting with Saheeli is absolutely insane. Put this in the deck. It's probably the best card in the deck.
I've been looking at a lot of people's lists. I don't think I've seen anybody put this in their list.
I definitely don't think, maybe people just don't see it. I'm not really sure. When I first read it too, I didn't quite grasp the amount of things that's actually going to happen. So
no, it's a lot of things going on the stack that you wouldn't normally think about, because people think about, oh, it's going to be 1/1 +1/+1 when it attacks, but that's
Yeah,
not how the stack works.
there's a lot going on.
It's a little bit of weird interaction, but it's neat.
If there's anything to put in this deck, it's Cultivator of Blades.
Yes.
Is it Generatorium?
It is.
Blue and a red. If you would get 1 or more energy, you get that many +1. And tap, draw card, activate only if you paid or lost 4 or more energy this turn. This is just solid for energy generation, and if you need a little bit to sink into, good for drawing a card. That's nothing too crazy or anything. I think it's just solid.
Generally good card. And I would play this even without the drawing card part. Like, just it turns Saheeli into cast one of those 2 things and get 2 energy, and that's just good all by itself, especially for 2 mana. Next, I'm going to add Royal Cartographer, 1 and a blue for a Merfolk Rogue. It has a landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy counter. It also has tap and pay 6 energy to draw 3 cards. That's a good rate. I think that's a good rate. There's 2 other landfall make energy cards in the deck, Nisa and some other 3 mana green card that makes an energy, but that's pretty good. If you want to go crazy non-budget with this and get fetch lands, add those just for the synergy there. Very good card.
Overclocked Electromancer. 2 and a red Lizard Wizard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 energy if you do put a 1/1 counter on him. Whenever he attacks, double its power. When he deals combat damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess damage this way, you get X energy, where X is the excess damage. That's really the paragraph we're looking at.
Yeah.
For sure. The other stuff.
And the double.
When he double its power is also really freaking solid.
I would never put the +1/+1 counter on him for 3 mana, I don't think. But because you're making the copy as a 5/5 and then it doubles to a 10/10, either scenario is good for you. Either your opponent's taking 10 damage, or you're probably getting, I'd imagine let's say on average you get 5, but there will be cases when you get like 8 energy off of that.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Dang. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
When I really think about it, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Slow bad. Iron Golem. 2 and a red for a legendary creature, Phyrexian Goblin Artificer. It's an Artificer. It's a 3/3. Tap, sacrifice an artifact, add an amount of red equal to the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. So this is a neat little interaction. I also don't think I've seen many people add this to the list, but after everything's said and done with your your combat, your 5/5 survived. If your 5/5 was a 3-fold Thunderhulk, it's going to get sacrificed anyway. Just sacrifice it now and you get 7 mana back. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a 3-fold threefold Thunderhulk is the best case scenario, probably, I think, in the deck. I think that's the highest mana value that we're going to have. But either way, like, even if you get 2 or 3 mana back from this a turn, that's good. It's good value.
Yeah, really, really solid, and works with the game plan super well.
Yeah, and the other one, sorry, I keep having addendums. So the honorable mention that I wanted to add to this, it's another similar card that I don't see anybody really putting in the deck. It's not in our top 10, but like Brutaclad, it would be like in the top 13 or so. I'm so sorry, I have to bring it up. Scrap Welder. It took me a second. 2 and a red for a Goblin Artificer. Tap, sacrifice an artifact with mana value X. Return target artifact with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Another good one, but just keep that in mind if you're doing more than just 10 in, 10 out.
Getting a little mana back never hurt no one. Volatile Storm Drake. 1 and a blue creature Drake. Flying hexproof from activated and triggered abilities. When it enters the battlefield, exchange control of Volatile Storm Drake and target creature and opponent controls. If you do, you get 4 energy. Then sacrifice that creature unless you pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value.
I
Wow.
love this card.
This is such a cool... This is actually so cool. It definitely gives me, what's that Drake that's on the list? The blue Drake
I mean,
everybody hates.
that's like the reference, right?
I mean, yeah, it clearly
It
is.
is. It's just the energy version, but
It's the energy, but like it's really good though. Like
this card is just generically good at removal. You could play this in any deck has nothing to do with energy. It's very good, but because we're getting energy off of this too, because like just get the 4 energy and don't pay for it if you don't want to keep the thing. If Levi, you play an Ulamog and it's threatening to murder me and everything I've ever loved, I just throw out the Storm Drake, you get to keep it, and I just sacrifice your Ulamog, and that's it.
so insane.
End of story. 2 mana.
Two
It's
mana.
kind of a creature swappy, sacrificey version of Swan Song or Strict Serenade. They get a flyer, you know.
Yeah, incredible card.
It's good.
Terrifying, even.
All right.
That's
our
it
10
for
ads.
ads.
Let's move on to the cuts. You know, the thing. Let's trim some fat here. So, for some reason, this deck has like the Precon, and the secondary commander doesn't care about this either. The Precon has a Thopter sub theme. Now, this is a really sick card. I'm going to put it in one of my other decks, but here it doesn't really do much. Makes a Thopter, I guess. But Stridehanger Automaton, 3 mana artifact creature construct. Thopters you control get +1/+1. If you would make one or more artifact tokens, then you make that many plus a Thopter. That's pretty good in other places. Like it's generically good here, but not like we're trying to really.
It's not
get that
optimizing.
synergy. No,
Yeah.
it doesn't sing here.
Not horrible. It really isn't bad. Like just, but it doesn't sing. You said it doesn't sing. Such beautiful music. We were just talking about this one too. Triplicate Titan. It's a 9 mana artifact creature golem with flying, vigilance, and trample, and when it dies, it creates a 3/3 colors golem artifact creature token with flying, a 3/3 with vigilance, and a 3/3 with trample. I think Triplicate Titan works pretty well if you're a little more focused around like cheating artifacts out in some way, or you have a lot of synergy there. You're not necessarily cheating a whole lot. I know we have Slowbad in here, but and he would be a good target for Slowbad, but
9's just too beefy.
You're not really going to be wanting to cast 9 mana. You do make a copy, and you would it does synergize. It's literally just the 9 mana that we have a hard time with here.
Yeah.
Really isn't horrible.
Thunderhulk was kind of the replacement for this one.
Yeah, and that's at 7 mana, and we've already told you what Threefold does.
Yeah. Have we? You want to read it again? I'm just kidding.
No.
Oh, is it my turn?
No, I don't.
I'm gonna do Conjurer's Closet. This is a neat card in a lot of decks, but in here it's just doesn't really hang as much as I'd like it to. There are a lot of ETBs to make energy, so I see what they were trying to do here, but I just don't think 5 mana for that kind of generation is fast enough in the deck. And we're only adding 2. Yeah, we're adding 2 ETBs, one being Threefold Thunderhulk again. Oh, no, Eska's Chariot, so there's 3. Threefold Thunderhulk, Eska's Chariot, and Cultivator of Blades, but we don't need to blink those things. It just doesn't deserve to be here.
Doesn't deserve to be here.
So if you bought the Precon and you're thinking about building Brago or something, go ahead and swap this into that.
Yeah. It's just not really all that necessary. This one just sucks. I'm sorry. Aether Squall, Ancient, 5 blue, Leviathan. Flying at the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy. Pay 8 energy, return all other creatures to their owner's hands. Activate only as a sorcery. You're at 7 mana, for a flying 6/6 that doesn't give you energy until your upkeep. So you'd have to wait another turn to even get energy from this thing. And then it 8 for like a Cyclonic Rift that also does it
This
to you.
costs the same as a Cyclonic Rift, but you have to wait.
You have to
and
wait.
pay 8 energy on top of it.
Not good.
And making a copy of it doesn't do anything either, so it doesn't really synergize with Saheeli. Like, you just get the 5 damage in probably from the flying. That's it.
Yeah, not good at generating energy. Not a very good board wipe. I mean, it's like, bouncing things is decent, but like, not good.
Another card that I think also sucks. I don't know if this is a Howie hot take, but Bootlegger's Stash is a bad card in general, in my opinion. 5 and a green for an artifact. Lands you control have tap to create a treasure token. 6 mana is a lot. You're going to play this. You're going to do nothing the rest of the turn. You can't tap your lands probably to make the treasure. And then next turn, it's just way too slow for what it does. If this was 4 mana, I could probably see it in other places, but I've never seen this card actually do anything in the 2 or 3 years since it's been printed. And I remember people were losing their minds over this when it got spoiled. It was like $40 pre-order or something.
There's not a whole lot of decks I would put this in, really. I could see a place for it in the green and black dragon that untaps your lands for 10 life or whatever.
Beladros Witherbloom.
Beladros Witherbloom, because you'd probably have some token doubler synergies in there.
Yeah.
I would think about putting Bootlegger Stash in there. That's the only thing I can think of, though.
I mean, Korvold, but that's just
Korvold is Korvold.
Yeah,
Korvold doesn't exist anymore. I don't.
People.
He doesn't exist.
People want to slam this in places where they shouldn't, and I don't really know why this is here. Besides maybe bringing the price down. I don't know what it was before this, but it's like $2 now.
This is what you and your sister. This is like a picture you and your sister would take at like a family vacation or something. Anyway, sorry. Human Artificer. When they enter the battlefield, put 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. 2 and a red, sacrifice an artifact. PN Kieran Nalaar deals 2 damage to target creature or player. I don't think I've ever even seen this card in my life.
This is a remnant of this Thopter sub-theme that they have going on. And also, if you think about this at its floor, you're spending 7 mana to also sacrifice an artifact to deal 2 damage to something. This is terrible. This is worse than Bootlegger Stash.
What is? Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Okay. Another new card that we're cutting is Rampaging Aetherhood. It's 4 and a green for a Snake Hydra. It's a 4/4 with trample and ward 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get an amount of energy equal to this creature's power. Then you may pay 1 or more energy. If you do, put that many +1/+1 counters on this creature. This ebb and flow that this card is trying to do with the energy is just kind of slow. And like Aether Squall Ancient, it's very slow. Like next turn you get 4, but I feel like this is just a huge removal target, because if you try to let this live and put 4 counters on it, you just pay 4 energy, so now you're down some energy. It's just gonna be a removal magnet. I don't like this card at all. I think it reads better than it is because it sucks.
There's lots of cards like that.
Yeah, it's got all the buzzwords that people like trample and counters and power, but it's not good.
Okay, power and trample and ward and 2. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say on that one. It's just mid. 1 with the machine. 3 and a blue. Sorcery. Draw cards equal to the highest mana value among artifacts you control. We're already taking away Triplicate Titan. And I honestly think 4, if you do it for 3 hold Thunderhulk, 4 mana, 7 cards is pretty goated.
Yeah, it's good. That situation's good. I mean, this is a card with a very high ceiling and a very low floor. In my playtesting, it I think on average it's 3 at sorcery speed, which is not what we want.
Not good. That's not good.
No, the floor is too low, and
You're
also
not.
4 mana is a lot. Like, we're kind of committing to the board with this deck, and we're not spending mana on 4 mana sorcery. It's just
Yeah. I would only
I-
run this in decks that are like that's kind of their theme almost, is like high mana value artifacts.
yeah.
And that's not really the theme here. It's energy, baby.
It's energy. I think the last 2 cuts are going to be... Holy crap. Sorry, I'm tired. Slagwood's Bridge and Tanglepool Bridge. They are both artifact lands that both enter the battlefield tapped. They're indestructible, and they tap for whatever, a couple colors. We needed to bring the lands down a little bit. I think there's 38 in the Precon. Now, I kind of hate that they're artifacts because we don't really have any artifact. Not a lot of synergy with just artifacts entering. I know some decks really care about that, but there's not a lot of that in here, if any. Maybe 1 card. They enter tapped. They are indestructible, but that does not stop them from getting caught in the crossfire of Farewell. And Farewell already hurts, like, a lot. I hate Farewell. And to lose 2 lands off of Farewell too...
Or Vandal Blast.
I don't scoop in this game. They're indestructible. I don't scoop in this game.
Oh, I do see that now.
I might scoop to that.
I might scoop to that.
That is our 10 ads and our 10 cuts. Thank you for watching our Living Energy upgrade video. I want to give a shout out to our patrons, Ed Solaire, Richard Dilkes, and King Dom. Also, check out our sponsor, Onidiscs. Check out onidiscs.com and enter NWM lowercase 10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. Check out their website to elevate your disc golf game. Get out there and exercise a little bit. It's good for you. Bye.